You can't escape. Your decisions are made for you. Without us, you will die. What am I referring to? The American food industry. My name is Adam Gopp, and every day we are bombarded with advertisements for food and fed unhealthy substitutes in our food. We do have some options to take back control over our health, however, including making our voices heard, limiting our exposure to advertisements, and voting with our wallets. Growing up, I had always been a picky eater, and I had always gravitated toward junk food, sweets, and desserts instead of fruits and vegetables. One food in particular I can recall always wanting was kid cuisine. Not only did they have flashy packaging, but the commercials promised a color-changing pudding. Why on earth would I eat a healthy, home-cooked meal when I could have such cool food like this? In high school health class, I had learned an additional key point which explains why unhealthy food is so addictive: high fructose corn syrup. Mount Sinai Health System and Princeton both report that high fructose corn syrup causes an increased appetite and causes more weight gain than standard cane sugar when used as a sweetener. So there are some ways that we can make a change. The first option would be to make our voices heard. So the United States government subsidizes farmers in order to grow crops, some of which are corn. Some of this corn crop is then converted to high fructose corn syrup, which is then used as a sweetener rather than using cane sugar. High fructose corn syrup can be used to sweeten foods such as bread, ice cream, soft drinks, and other desserts. In 2019, the farmers in the United States received $2.2 billion in subsidies to grow corn. There is an annual farm bill which the House of Representatives votes on, and my one proposal is that you contact your local representative and ask them to vote no on this farm bill until the amount going to corn growing is decreased. You can also urge them to create amendments which takes money from the corn farming and gives us money to farm subsidies for growing cane sugar instead. Additionally, the United States government has regulations when it comes to advertising towards children. The FCC has certain limits on how much time per hour can be spent advertising to children on TV. I do have one question though. If there are limits on how long children can be advertised to, why are they allowed to be advertised to at all? My one recommendation here would be, again, to contact your local representative and ask them to ban advertising towards children. As humans, we are social in nature, so if somebody has the hot new toy, you don't need ads to get that out. Word of mouth will be sufficient in a school setting. A second option that I propose is to limit the amount of time that advertisements are shown to you. One option for this with parents would be to spend more family time doing activities outdoors, such as going to the park. When you introduce less screen time, you introduce less advertisements that your children will see. So, as anybody who uses screens is being advertised to, YouTube video creators will have sponsors to sponsor their video. Influencers will be wearing the latest dress or something similar in a sponsored post from a company. So if you are on a screen, you simply cannot escape advertisements. They're all over social media and email, any type of app that you would use. The American Heart Association reports that in 2016, over 90% of the food-related advertisements children saw on TV were for unhealthy food. Now, obviously, you are not going to be cutting TV out of your child's habits forever. You are just limiting the amount of time they are exposed to such advertisements. Perhaps the best option would be to vote with your wallet. So, the first option that I propose is to buy generic products. Generic products such as these Pop-Tarts and similar toaster pastries shown here are sometimes made in the same factory, sometimes they're not, and sometimes they are just imitation products. However, by not purchasing the name brand, you will be sending a message to the manufacturer that you are rejecting their advertising and instead choosing the option that does not advertise to you. I would like to now show some packaging of some common foods that are available, usually in the snack aisle. So first here, I do have two options for some snack bars. The first is Nature Valley protein bars. Here is Kellogg's Nutri-Grain bars. One thing I do want to draw attention to is both of the boxes say that they do contain no high fructose corn syrup. So if you are looking for a product with no high fructose corn syrup, you could choose these as a replacement for a dessert. An additional thing I want to touch on, which will be in all of the products I show, is that these packages both use bright advertising. So the bright advertising is there to capture your attention. If you're just walking down the aisle and all the boxes are brown, you won't be so enticed to pick out something new. You'll only be going there at the store for what you need. Next, I want to speak on this box of Welch's Fruit Snacks. Again, it has the same bright colors as the previous options that I showed. However, the box right here says fruit is our first ingredient. This is true, reading the ingredients. However, the second ingredient is corn syrup. So if you are looking for a snack to cut out corn syrup, Welch's Fruit Snacks are not the snack for you, despite what the packaging wants you to believe. Finally, here, I do have a bag of Cheetos. This is just a personal bag, but the bag design is the same that it would be for the larger bag. You can see, again, it has bright colors. Additionally, I want to show here that there is Chester the cheetah here. Now, that's a well-known mascot of the Cheetos brand who appears in Cheetos advertisements, including TV advertising. So Cheetos is going a step further here by putting him on the packaging. So whenever you see him on the package, you will recall the commercial that you saw, tie it together to how hungry you were at that point, and you will go for the Cheetos because you saw the mascot along with the bright coloring. So, one other option is to search for healthier ingredients. So, buying foods that are made with cane sugars instead of sweeteners like corn syrup are a great way to reject the use of these sweeteners. Two brands that do have other options are Heinz and Coca-Cola. Heinz makes ketchup that uses real cane sugar rather than high fructose corn syrup, and Coca-Cola has a product which uses natural cane sugar as well. By purchasing these products, you are telling companies that you want them to invest more in using cane sugar and other healthier ingredients. One final idea is just don't buy junk food when you're out. That is easier said than done, but however, if you go to the grocery store only to buy what you need, you will be rejecting the unhealthy foods and the advertisements that are shown to you. So, the food industry makes most of our decisions for us when it comes to diet, ingredients, and availability of some substitutions. We do have some power over that, however. We are able to make our voices heard, reduce the amount of time that we are advertised to, and we are able to vote with our wallet. By doing so, we can reject a portion of these decisions that are made for us and for our families, and start leading America toward a healthier future. These are the sources of the image that I used in my slideshow.